There are a myriad of belief traditions in our world today that talk about the value of the human soul. And these various belief traditions state that the soul is truly who we are. It's the part of us that's going to live forever. And that when we breathe our last breath on this side, the body goes away, and then the soul separates and goes off into the afterlife, and that's the part of us that lives forever. And I've heard it stated that the soul is the most recognizable part of who we really are. And that when people see us, recognize us on the other side in the afterlife, they'll know exactly who we are because they'll see the soul, that part of us. So we're not just a body, we're not just a face, we're not just our personality, we're a soul. And some deny the very existence of the soul and say, it's just made up. That's something to help us feel better about our lives and gives more meaning to the significance of our lives. But I got to thinking about the soul and that part of us, it's that part of us. You don't want to call it a soul, that's fine, but I think it's our inner wisdom. It's our inner truth, our authentic self, as some call it. However you want to define it, it's that part of you that can't be fooled. It's the part of you that you know it's real. It has a deep knowing. And what happens throughout life is as we grow, we start to pick up other narratives and other beliefs, and we start to take on what's given to us by parental figures and authority figures, and they start to define who we are. And we accept it, and we say, this must be who I am, and this is my personality, and this is what people keep telling me. So we become a reflection of what other people are saying. And then we start to lose a sense of who we are and our essence, and that soul gets sprayed with graffiti, soul graffiti, all over it, and it gets covered up, and it starts to grow silent and dim, but it's still there, and it's beating away deep inside of who we are in this human body, having this human experience. That soul is there, and that soul can't be fooled. That soul is that part of us that knows that we're okay, just the way that we are. Even when people tell us we're not. It knows, I'm okay, this is who I am. And it keeps inviting us, pulling us back into our true essence. And we deny it because we've bought into the lie that we're not enough. And what makes me enough is what I do or how I perform. And we learn all these various ways to be enough. And so we start to accept that this is what makes me enough. This is how I earn love. This is how I earn acceptance. So I can't just be. I can't simply exist. I have to perform and do certain things in order to be enough. And the reality is that you're enough simply because you exist. That's your enoughness. That's living out of this abundance and oneness, the sense that I'm deeply connected to everything and everyone all the time. And the lie, those parts of us that are rejected or traumatized or hurt, they start telling us that we're not. And that in order for us to stay connected, we have to be something other than what we are. The invitation from the soul is to get back to you, get back to your true essence, back to that deep knowing that I'm enough simply because I exist. Imagine walking through life, living out of that deep knowing, living from a place of authenticity, that I'm now living out of my true essence. Imagine how that changes the trajectory of how you relate to people, how you interact with systems, how you move into relationships. You're beginning to explore the possibility of having a relationship with a person, whether it's a dating relationship or a friendship. But if you come in already rooted and saturated in your enoughness, then you come in going, I don't actually need anything from you, but I simply want to be with you because I'm drawn to you, or I love you, or I'm attracted to you, or I think you're amazing, and I want to spend time with you. But I'm not spending time with you because I have to get something from you in order to feel better about myself. I'm coming to you out of a place of abundance and oneness. And imagine how that would change the entire dating world, how that would change how we relate to one another in our work environments. There would be such a beautiful creativity that would flow out of us that would like permeate everything that we do. And people would be like, who is this person? And they would start to recognize that, oh, this is that soul. This is the soul of compassion, the soul of creativity, that you start living out of the beauty of who you really are. And that's the journey of life. Like, we all start on a path. And then what happens so often is we veer off the path and we find ourselves out in the deep weeds. And once we get down to those deep weeds, we forget who we are. And there's a voice out in the wilderness, a voice out in the distance, our soul's voice that's always calling us to come back. Like, come back, get back on the path. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to separate myself from you, but you've separated yourself from who you really are, and you start to live out of these other ideas of who you are. But the true essence of who you are has always been there. And so the invitation is to somersault back into who you really are. Somersault back into joy, into your soul. Like, get back into your soul. And whether you believe that it exists or not, get back into your authentic self, get back into your true essence, and begin living from that place. That's what Quincy and me are committed to do, to help you get back into your oneness, back into your abundance, back into your point of origin, where you came from, so that you can begin living this authentic life. Imagine running your company, your organization, wherever it is that you find yourself, running the organization from a place of abundance and oneness. Like, that's the magic. That's the goodness. And we can help you get there. We can help you get back to you so that you can be joyful, loving, healing presence. Go get the day today, and peace and every good be with you, my friends.